Register for our free newsletter JOE. Jordan was just 21 when he scored the goal against Czechoslovakia that took Scotland to the 1974 World Cup finals. More than 95,000 packed into Hampden Park that evening in September 1973 to roar the Dark Blues to their first major final since 1958. But Jordan didn't fully appreciate what he had helped his country achieve until later that night. Over a quiet beer with veterans Billy Bremner and Denis Law, he could see their delight, as they'd been trying for years without success, and had to endure England's World Cup victory 7 years earlier. Fast forward to this coming week, and we need to beat Slovakia on Thursday evening and Slovenia next Sunday to keep us in with a chance of reaching the 2018 finals. That would be our first participation on the big stage in 20 years. So, given his experience from 4 decades ago, Jordan knows just what it would mean to veteran campaigners such as Darren Fletcher, Scott Brown, Christophe Berra and Craig Gordon if they were to pull off a footballing miracle. Jordan, who won 52 caps, scoring 11 times, told the Sunday Post back in 1973, "I was part of a very successful Leeds United side, which contained Billy, Peter Lorimer and David Harvey, and that led to me being involved with the Scotland squad. We knew what victory would mean, and we went for it. We were 10 down and then Jim Holton equalised. I came on as a sub for Kenny Dalglish, and partnered the great Denis Law up front. 11 minutes later, I was fortunate enough to score the winner with a header. It was a fantastic result for us. The Czechs were a right good side and they went on to win the European Championships in 1976. That gives you an indication of their calibre." Scotland's Joe Jordan celebrates his goal with Billy Bremner right and Tommy Hutchison left, but, to be honest, the importance of the goal didn't register with me until after the game when I went for a beer with Billy and Denis Law. They had been through a few failed campaigns, and had this mixture of relief and excitement. 16 years was a long, long wait for everyone. I was particularly delighted for Billy. Being his teammate, I knew day in and day out what his country meant to him and how badly he wanted to be part of something special. He had won everything in the game, but wanted to do it with his country. So he couldn't wait to get back down to Leeds the next day, and we caught the early morning flight. Billy wanted to remind the English lads at the club what we had achieved because they were struggling to get to West Germany, and would be eliminated a few weeks later. He enjoyed the banter that day, and for weeks to come. Eddie Gray and Gordon McQueen had travelled up from Leeds to see the game against the Czechs, and then lost their car keys in the celebrations. They had to pay for a taxi back down the road that night. Great days. So, to look at the current situation, we know we need to win the next 2 games. Scotland needs some success, and I hope it works out for Gordon Strachan and the players against Slovakia and Slovenia. For a few of the players, this may be their last campaign, so I hope they get what they wish for." When Jordan reminisces, he recalls playing with top players such as Bremner, Law, Dalglish, Jimmy Johnston and Graham Souness. Back then, the Scotland national team manager had the luxury of calling on some of the finest players in Europe. Jordan, now out of football after a long career playing, coaching and managing, was an outstanding striker and is the only Scot to have scored in 3 World Cup finals, in 1974 against Zaire and Yugoslavia, 4 years later against Peru, and in 1982 when the USSR were the opposition. Strachan would love to be able to call on 1 or 2 world-class players, but Jordan is sure that the team spirit and the momentum from the last 3 international games will stand the team in good stead in the next 7 days. "We had some exceptional footballers in the Scotland squads over the years when I was a player," Jordan continues. "Indeed, when you look at the fact we had Bremner, Law, Dalglish and Johnston in 1974, then maybe we should have actually achieved more. We then had Graham Souness in the squad in 1978, along with Bruce Rioch, Asa Hartford, Lou Macquarie and Archie Gemmill. I mean, my goodness, the quality. It really was incredible and I had to fight hard to get into the squad. And when I got there, I knew I had to be on it every single time because there was someone of real quality waiting in the wings to pounce and get in at my expense." Looking at it now, Gordon doesn't have the same depth of squad to choose from. He is not as fortunate as Willie Ormond was back in 1974 or 4 years later when Ally MacLeod was the boss of Jockstein in 1982. So he will be keeping his fingers crossed that he gets a clean bill of health from his players after their club's games this weekend. We all know it is going to take 2 first-class performances to win the games. And, of course, you need to that wee bit luck on the night as well. I believe Scotland deserved to beat England back in June, and they were very unfortunate not to do so. But it goes to show the importance of staying fully focused for 90 minutes, and stoppage time. That said, the Scotland players built on that performance to get two good results against Lithuania and Malta. Now they're right back in it. I really wish Gordon and his staff the best of luck. It can't be an easy task being Scotland manager. He has to stand there during the games and be at the front for the whole country. He is representing our national game. The upside is that if we do get through the next two games and into the playoffs, then it would be incredible. You could sell Hampden 3 times over in November for that. So I hope Scotland get the required results. I want to see Gordon and this generation sample a World Cup. Gordon has been there as a player and scored in the 1986 finals in Mexico. I think he would feel it would be the best achievement of his career if he could lead Scotland as manager for the 2018 finals in Russia. It's been said many times before, but it has been far too long. It is long overdue, and we will see if we are on course after Thursday night. It will not be an easy game against Slovakia, but I have a feeling we will win it. Then it will all come down to Sunday in Slovenia.